Hello, 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 and welcome to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. We are so excited to have you joining us here today in episode 777. And we have hanging out with us in the virtual studio, Dr. Nina Copeland. She is a leadership strategist and the owner and founder of Copeland's Coaching and Consulting. And today's topic is cracking the code on generational leadership. You don't want to move. You don't want to go anywhere. We'll be getting right into it right after this quick intro. Thank you for listening.
Whoa. Why y'all so happy?
And you don't know? Sharvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Sharvette Mitchell.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking us out. Listen, we got to always show love and give mad props to those that watch us live from a couple different places on Facebook. Certainly those that check us out on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Sharvette. Go ahead and subscribe. Why don't you? Thank you for those that check this out on LinkedIn. We love our LinkedIn community. And listen, if you're on LinkedIn, we have a great newsletter for you to check out. So subscribe to that. We can stay in contact with you that way. And then certainly those that are listening in from all of our podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You might be listening from Amazon Music. You might be watching this on your TV. A lot of people will stream and watch from YouTube on their TV. So however you are connected with us, we're excited as always to have you. Listen, let me get some shout outs coming in already. Hello, Roberto. Hello, Marilyn, coming on in. Listen, my blood sister. Hey. Glad to be here. Glad to have you live on the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. This segment is being brought to you by our 9th annual, can y'all believe it? Our 9th annual live in-person event. It is the Platform Builder Summit, the VIP experience. And we're about like 65 days away at the airing of this live broadcast. And I want to personally invite you to join us in the capital city of Richmond, Virginia. And listen, we have early bird rates all this month, all the month of September. So jump over to platformbuildersummit.com. You can look down below. There will be a comment that is pinned, or there is a link in the show notes there for you, platformbuildersummit.com. You might be saying, who should attend? Let me tell you who should attend. It should be anyone that is a woman entrepreneur, woman leader, woman business owner who is focused on working on her marketing, her business development, getting to the money, all the things. All right. I see you. Yes. Great. Welcome. All right. So let's go ahead and jump right on in and introduce my guest here again, as we have this topic on episode 777, cracking the code on generational leadership. Dr. Nina Copeland is with us. She is a dynamic, retired. Yes. Can you look? And when you say retired, sis, she looks young. Retired military officer, leadership strategist. She's the connector with over 21 years of distinguished service, a master in leadership development and resilience. She has trained over 10,000 Department of Defense personnel, empowering them to excel under pressure. She holds a master's in Procurement and Acquisition Management and is a Master Resiliency and DISC-certified trainer. As founder of Copeland's Coaching and Consulting, best-selling author and international speaker, Dr. Copeland partners with executives to strengthen their leadership, improve culture, and drive results. And she inspires professionals to redefine success, embrace growth, and lead with bold and lasting impact. Put your virtual hands together as we welcome Dr. Nina Copeland up to the stage. Hello, Dr. Nina. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
I am wonderful. Listen. I think I heard some claps. Did I hear claps? Oh, I hear them. Oh, yes, I do. I hear them coming on in. Yes. Woo, listen. This is such a good time period, I think, to be like chatting with you. I was just saying, September, like the kids are back to whatever their school or whatever they're doing. You don't have to worry about them eating you out of house and home. You're like, I don't have to worry about where are they supposed to be? Where are they? Now we know they have schedules, but it's something, don't you agree? It's something about this time of year that like resets everybody.
I do. I do. I think this is like the moment where, the kids are back in school. It was like, okay, now I can breathe just a little bit. It's
Yeah.
not, the end, but you just have that little moment there where you can
Right.
pause and regroup. That's what I
And
would say.
regroup. I love that. I love that. And so today's topic, it's awesome. I think we're jumping into on this discussion here in episode 777. Cracking the code on generational leadership is what we're going to be talking about. But I want to delve a little bit more like into your background. So certainly, Dr. Copeland, Dr. Nina, we love to say you had a 21-year military career, certainly before transitioning into entrepreneurship. And so I'd love to know, like, how did military experience shape the way that you lead and even, coach today?
That is like the best question. My time in the military, I realized, and I only realized this when I was transitioning out, that high performing leaders, how they suffer in silence, like show up bad every day, knock it out the park. But it is something when you're trying to go after the next rank, you're trying to achieve the best evaluation, hold the family together. And although we have mentors in the military or within any organization, you have your mentor, you have your coach, you're not always vulnerable with those people. They're just too close.
Yeah.
You have to experience life, and then you have to come to work, and then you're supposed to tell these people that you see every day what's going on in your life. And of course, we're battling like, the judgment and all that. So for me, when I transitioned out, I was like, I want to be that space that I needed while I was in that fast-paced environment. So creating a space to allow leaders to grow outside of the just outside of the organization period, not just in the military, but allowing them to have that safe space to where they can be vulnerable, they can say what their weaknesses are, and they can have a dedicated person to help them to get to where they need to be.
Well said. And I know that there are a lot of just professionals that would connect, with that and identify with that. And so certainly you've trained over 10,000 Department of Defense, DOD personnel and leadership and resilience. And so what were some of the biggest lessons of you seeing, people really kind of take away from your training or even interactions with you?
I think the biggest thing is just mindset shifting. They were so caught. I see a lot of people who are so caught on what they have been doing in their current jobs or their current role or whatever they were doing currently in their businesses, and they allow that to define who they are.
Oh, yeah.
But that's really not the case. So to help them navigate, like, that is your job and that's what you did, but that's not who you are. But for those individuals, especially, of course, I could talk about military, when you're 18 and you go into the military and that's all you know and that's all you've been doing, that does become your identity. And so helping them to really, really go within to see what's really inside of you, those innate abilities that some may have been just lying dormant, and to awaken those things and really see who you are in this time and in this space. And even when that job has gone, or you're transitioning to something different, or you start a new business, or whatever the case may be, that old thing that you did does not determine nor affect what you're going to do in the future.
Yeah. So good. Separating ourselves and the value, personal value related to what we do. And that's entrepreneurs or professionals, and separating that. That's why when we talk about like pricing and things of that nature, people say, well, they're not paying me what I'm worth. Well, as an individual, you are priceless. Like if your family had to make a decision and you were kidnapped, they would pay any amount of money. Most people would get to get their family member back. So you are priceless. So it's really separating that. And so I love that conversation. And so resilience comes up a lot as a theme in the work that you do. And so how do you personally define resilience?
For me, it's the ability to get back up again after you have been knocked down and you may have said, whoa, that rocked me to my core. But you can get up again and you can radically accept what has happened to you and have the strength and the endurance and the perseverance to move forward to what is next for you.
Wow, there you go. So this is great, I think, to kind of weave in today's topic, which is cracking the code on generational leadership. And so I want to make sure, the audience is level set. And again, welcome to all those that are listening in and all that. How do you define generational leadership? That might be a new term or something that people haven't heard of.
Yeah, so when I think of generational leadership, I think about the questions that sometimes the church are asking. It was like, how are we going to get the youth back in the church? Or,
Yeah.
And then when in terms of jobs, they say, well, the youth, the millennials, they're just leaving the jobs. They're not staying on the job. And so I always think about those questions, but it's really the ability to effectively lead and manage and inspire people from multiple generations. Okay. How are the baby boomers working with the Gen X, the millennials, the Gen Z? Because each generation brings their own values and their own style and their own perspective. But how are you able to bridge that gap so that everyone is valued, seen, and heard?
And so that it also ties in, certainly ties into culture and all, all of that. And so even the culture of either the organization and just the culture, certainly just playing a big role in organizational success. And so related to this kind of generational leadership, what are some common maybe challenges that organizations, are experiencing around this?
I think the biggest one is communication. The boomers may think, I said what I said, and I don't need to explain the why to you right now. And the Gen Z and the millennials, they need the why to feel motivated to even go accomplish a task.
Yeah.
And so being able to bridge that gap, like how do you do that? And I have seen I have heard leaders say, well, you know what? I don't have time to tell you the why.
Okay.
But you don't have time for me to go accomplish the task.
Wow.
And it's not like it used to be, people really value their time, and it's really not about the money anymore because people can make money in many different ways.
Money is not a motivator. I have seen is not always a motivator.
Right. People will walk off the job. Okay, you don't know how to treat me, off the job. So, and then another thing is like the hierarchy. Baby boomers, because I'm not.
Right.
But that hierarchy, right? Like they believe in hierarchy, they believe in structure, they believe in leadership. And millennials, they're more about, hey, let's collaborate, let's get it done, let's simplify. And so bridging that gap, because it's really based on their perspectives. And from my area of expertise, that's kind of what I see is just that communication gap and the hierarchy, and just helping them bridge that gap and really understand that they're both are right, or many of the generations that are represented are right, but how can you bridge it and bring it together so that the organization wins at the end?
Absolutely. I love it. Michelle said yes to communication. Roberto said be able to bridge the gap. Erica, welcome. How we work across multi-generations. I love it. I love it. If you're just tuning on in, we are hanging out here with Dr. Nina Copeland, leadership strategist, Copeland Coaching and Consulting. Dr. Nina, while they're here, how can they connect with you online?
Yes, you can find me at my business website is copelandcconsulting.com. You can find me on Instagram at I am Nina Copeland, and on Facebook it is Dr. Nina Copeland, or Rochelle Copeland too.
Oh, right. There you go. And we have tagged in those places as well. So that's a great connection point right there. Look down below in the show notes. If you are listening in, we got some links for you right there. All right. So as we think about cracking the code, where do you start with, leaders that you work with or organizations that you work with to say, hey, we've identified like there's this communication barrier or just not a meeting of the minds, I almost want to say. And so a couple, maybe one or two tips you would say, how do we start cracking the code on this generational leadership?
Is understanding that we need to listen to what's being said. Yeah. And if you are a leader, listen to what your subordinates have to say. Mm-hmm. Don't just shut them down and say, I'm in charge and you're going to do it my way because I said so, because they're going to feel unseen and unvalued. Mm-hmm. And not valued, and they're not going to be motivated to get the job done.
Right.
And so the way that they could be maybe a way to bridge that gap would be use reverse mentorship. Okay. Like you have someone from one generation and from another generation, and you allow them to work together. So that way they can both bring their shared experiences, and it could be beneficial to everyone in the organization.
Wonderful.
And also another plug is that you can use a DISC assessment. So you understand how everyone operates and what motivates each person to get the task done. But
okay.
What motivates everyone is really key.
That's cracking the code there. And so for those that may not be familiar with DISC assessments, and I know you're certified in that space, yes. What is the DISC assessment? And, what comes out of that would help an organization say, oh, okay, now we kind of understand how people think and work and we'll get things done.
Yeah, it's a tool that just helps you understand how you naturally show up. And some people don't think about how they naturally show up because, you just be yourself every day and you don't think about it. But it's how we communicate, how we make decisions, and how you lead. And so it also breaks it down into 4 different styles. So you have a dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientious. And so nobody fits in everyone does fits in all the categories, but it's like no one is all D's. You go in an organization and everybody is just dominant. That's not the case. Everyone is not influential. Everyone is not steadiness, like everyone is not conscientious. So understanding how you can blend all of the different learning styles together to make the team more synchronized, and you want a well-oiled machine. And I like to think of Jenga. When you put all the pieces together, how it's strong, it's sturdy, it doesn't fall apart. But the moment you start pulling the blocks, it becomes unstable and collapses. And that's exactly what happens with teams.
Okay. Great. And so that definitely like DISC assessments definitely something that would help crack the code on generational leadership. If there's an organization or someone saying, hey, I'm in an organization and we probably need this, how should they connect with you?
They can connect with me at copelandcconsulting.com. There is a form on there on the website, and you can complete the form and just talk a little bit about your organization or just for yourself, and I will contact you. I will follow up with you.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. So if somebody could individually do this, like outside of their company, there may be funds inside the company that'll cover it, but somebody could actually do this on their own and own their own development. Okay. I love that. Yes. And so, Dr. Nina, there are a lot of, professionals today that are feeling kind of burnt out or they feel stuck. And so, what are, first steps? What first steps do you kind of recommend for someone who's ready to, redefine success and, really embrace growth?
I think the first step is always to give yourself permission to pause. It's always the number one thing, because what I see a lot is that people go and they feel so motivated in doing all the things, and
Yeah.
they're missing a lot. So taking a moment to pause and actually see, are you fulfilled? And what is it going to take for you to be fulfilled? What are some of the things you need to change? Some of the habits you need to change, some of the people, jobs, or whatever the case may be. What is it that you need to do to actually be fulfilled? And you'll only figure that out when you pause to take care of yourself.
Ah, so good. I love that. Pause. That's right. That's right. Dr. Nina coming in. Great info, Dr. Nina. Great info. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's so important. And when you're dealing with leaders or they're managing groups, because I know you work with leaders, a pause some people feel like that's lazy, like I'm not doing anything.
Right.
So it's counterintuitive to tell a leader to pause.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And I had to take a huge pause, and I kept trying to go. But when I was going, I was finding myself like slipping. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and take the pause. I'm gonna pause so I can stop slipping. And when I stopped, I was able to redefine what success looks like for me, period. What I thought success looked like for me. Because during my time in the military, I based success on what was success in the military. And success in the military is like, well, you have to retire with 20 years and that is success. And I did not get to do that. So I had to rewrite, what does success look like for Nina? Not for anyone else, not what society says, people in the military says. What does Nina say success is for her?
And I think to this point of cracking the code on generational leadership, is that to that point, a millennial success looks like one thing. Gen Z success looks like another thing. You got baby boomers, success looks like another thing. And all of this is kind of merging in workplaces, organizations. And I'll say, even if we think about our small businesses, as we hire, so if you're listening from an angle of a small business and you say, well, I'm not in a corporation, still, if you hire or contract out work, there is still, this in play, and what really motivates people and all of that.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And so you mentioned the transition, from military. So you transition, from a military officer to, best-selling author, international speaker. What were, the biggest mindset shifts you had to make during your transition?
Yeah, I think the biggest one is what I just said. I had to really redefine what success was for myself, because I was stuck, and at first I couldn't get out, and I kept just replaying what success was in the military, and all it did was put me in a depression. Okay.
Yeah. It's like, what is this?
Because I was trying to live up to some other standards. And I just remember hearing no, you're trying to focus on the past. You need to move forward. So I realized that I had to focus on who Nina Copeland was, and not Major Nina Copeland anymore. And I had to realize that all the great and wonderful things that I did in the military, those are transferable skills. And I can use them in the way in which I want to use them. And if that's entrepreneurship, which that's what it is for me, and that was totally okay. I did not have to get out the military and go into a good government job. That's not what I chose. And I'm not speaking, a lot of people do it. So I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm just saying for Nina, that just wasn't what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so shifting that mindset was really difficult, but I did it. And then to only find out authorship, I don't think I would have been focused on authorship or becoming an international best speaker if I had not experienced what I experienced transition out of the military. So it just really cracked the code for me and opened up many different doors and allowing my story to just make room for me.
Make room. That's so well said. I think I heard Jill Scott kind of referencing one time talking about songs, and this ties into your point, and how people talked about Whitney Houston and all of these amazing love songs and things that she wrote. But then Jill Scott was like, somebody had to live that stuff. Somebody had to live that for it to get onto paper and for it to sing, people, they were seeing in the impact, somebody had to walk those things out. And so to your point of going through some things, help you really like be able to refocus. And then now you're able to help organizations and leaders with their people. And so you have actually a summit coming up. And so I'd love for you to be able to, to share about the summit that you have coming up here in Richmond, Virginia.
Yes, I am so excited.
Yes.
It is definitely a level up experience for me, and it's going to be a level up experience for all the attendees. And again, we're focused on professional development. We're going to focus on personal branding and visibility, AI, so that we can understand the different tools that we can use to help reduce the time so we can focus on the things that we really need to focus on. Yeah. We're talking about mental wellness for ambitious women. Like we're so ambitious, but we still got to be healthy. We have to be well, and we have to be whole to lead those individuals around us. So we're going to be talking about a lot of things. And I think we may have a session for a DISC assessment. I don't know.
Oh, perfect.
We may just drop that in there. So stay tuned. It's going to be an amazing event, networking, like-minded women in the same room, a place where you can come to really relax. And I want you to come on empty so that you can be full and rejuvenated while you're there.
All right. And how can people find out? Like, let's tell them all the
Okay. Right.
Look, I'm making sure I got all my stuff here.
Drop it. Okay. So you can find out about the conference at the IamBoldSummit.com. The tickets are $150 for general admission. And I think the date for general admission, the early bird pricing, is 12 September. So you want to go ahead and go to the website, IamBoldSummit.com, and look at the pricing, get your ticket before the rates increase.
Yes. Listen, we're gonna bring this up here, and y'all don't want to see that. Y'all don't want to see that. Hold on. Look, reality TV here. I'm bringing up the website. I'm bringing up the website here because I want them to be. It's a gorgeous site, and I want them to be able to see the actual site and talk through. So tell us about some of the speakers, because you've already mentioned that, and just some of the other experiences while I'm bringing up being able to share.
Yes. So we're going to have Carol Reese. She's going to be talking about the AI tools for leaders. We have, of course, the host of the show here, Sharvette Mitchell. She's speaking about personal branding and visibilities for corporate leaders and entrepreneurs. Again, we're having the women wellness for ambitious women. And we have Dana Wilson. We have Yolanda Hall. We have two Yolandas, actually. Yolanda Hill, that is going to be on that panel. And we have our leadership panel, which is going to be Yolanda. I have a lot of Yolandas.
Yolandas.
Yes, that's
Yolandas are blessed here.
Popular, okay. And we have Candace, and let's see who else I have. Look at my board real quick. Oh, and we have Edwinette Moses.
Yes.
He's going to be speaking. And our guest and our keynote speaker is going to be Dominique Chatters. And she's going to talk about making space in your industry.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
So it's a lot. It's a full program. You don't want to miss it. And I look forward to seeing you in the room.
There you go. And what's the difference? If someone's like, I want to do general, but I see a VIP here on the screen. Like, what is the difference or just any perks that they get from VIP?
Yes. So for the VIP, you get to front row seating. You get this amazing swag bag, an hour session with me. Ooh. And probably going to drop some other things in there too. But it's going to be an amazing time.
Wonderful, wonderful. And the dates. Thank you. So what are the dates again?
I talked about everything else. Thank you so much. The most important thing is the date is October the 11th. It's from 10 to 5. It is at the Drury Inn in Glen Allen, Virginia.
All right. And Dr. Jatanya said, I love the bold colors. And Michelle coming in from Atlanta says, will there be any virtual spots?
No, not now. Not at the moment.
No,
I'm going to work on that.
Listen, we thank you for your interest, certainly. And so I Am Bold Summit, that's very simple. Y'all should be able to just, IamBoldSummit.com. And if you're listening to the replay or listening to the podcast, it's there. And I'm just dropping the links to I Am Bold Summit there, where you will have that so you can check it out. Okay, cool. I know there's a little bit off script, but I wanted to, if you have an event coming up and it is, and there may be some things there that people, if this interests you, what we've been talking about, then your summit would be of interest there. So IamBoldSummit.com. There you go. There you go. All right. So last question, because our time is flown by.
Yes,
but we'd love to just know the goal of this show is to motivate, excite, and influence. What continues to motivate Dr. Nina Copeland?
Let's see. I think it's the one thing that has always been passionate. The one thing I'm passionate about is always helping people, and being able to just do that. And helping people comes in many different ways, helping them to just see who they are from the inside out and really pursue those dreams, and even the dreams that they think are impossible.
Oh, yeah.
And to help them really understand that it is possible and help them to achieve it, that brings me success. And of course, my family, those 3 boys and my husband, they keep me going. They always motivate me to do what I need to do because, they always in my pockets.
A lady in a house full of men, a lady and men, boys, males, let's say it that way. So
yes, but they're always excited to see me doing a podcast, hosting an event. They may give me, the business in the process, but at the end they are like so happy, and it just motivates me just to get to the end and see their smiling faces.
Oh, and I know that they are proud and happy and all of that for you. Well, thank you so much for stopping by the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. We're glad to have just had some time to hear from you and also have this conversation around, these generational things that are going on in all industries, all work, workplaces, cracking the code on generational leadership. If you came in late, just go back, listen. Dr. Nina gave you some tips there, and you can reach out to her. All right. Thank you so much for stopping by the show.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. All right. Woo. All right. Awesome discussion. Thank you so much for all of those that have been hanging out with us in the streaming area. Yes. Thank you, Michelle, for being here. Great show as usual. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Those of you that binge listen and binge watch this. I meet people all the time who are like, hey, I'm listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. I binged it, and they'll just sit and let it run because yes, like for real, this was episode 777. So if you are one of those people, maybe you take a train to work or you have a long commute to work, you might be in the DC, Maryland area. Listen, pop in the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Subscribe. That's the main thing so you don't miss any of our topics and any of our bonus discussion sessions. All right, it's a wrap for today. Again, thank you so much for being here. And we're going to see y'all later on the web. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Catch Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.